Over the years, we've had a lot of different tenders on our boats to extend our cruising range as well as the fun factor. So let's take a look back and learn a bit more about all of them. The first dinghy we had was an 8-foot Mercury with an inflatable floor. That was powered by a 2-stroke 5-horse Mercury outboard. The inflatable floor on that dinghy made it really light, which allowed for easy launch and retrieval. Now, the first boat that we had that with was our 300 Sundancer, and you can see we had that funky davit system, which included a couple of plastic hoops, I called them, which were attached to the swim platform. So it's just a matter of getting a rope around it, pulling it up, tying it off, and it was good. And it was secure, and we did a lot of traveling with that thing and never had an issue with it, never had it slip off or anything. Now, as much fun as we had with that boat, it was under power with that 5-horse, and with the 2 of us on it, it couldn't get up on plane and couldn't get out of its own way. So that motor had to go. So as they say in the automotive world, the key to going faster, more horsepower. And I was able to find a gently used 8-horse Yamaha 2-stroke. Now I'm going to guess that motor might have been a little underrated because it put out a lot of power, which actually led to a problem because it was probably too much power for that dinghy. The 2 of us on it and going at plane, the whole floor would actually start to undulate and you would feel every wave in the bottom. So it was time to get rid of that inflatable floor and get a hard bottom dinghy. And that coincided with the time that we moved up to our next boat, the 400 Sandbridge, which came equipped with a Weaver davit system. The previous owner even put on a Weaver outboard motor mount, which was super convenient. All I needed for the dinghy was a couple of pieces, including this transom mark, as they call it, as well as a couple of standoffs and then some rubber pads just to attach everything to the dinghy itself. Yeah, it was a nice setup with that dinghy and we had a lot of fun with it. Another plus with that Weaver davit system was that when we came back to the boat, we could just clip it to the back of the swim platform and it doubled as a footrest. Yeah, retrieving the boat at the end of the day was a really straightforward procedure. As you can see, I already have the outboard off the dinghy and sitting on the Weaver davit transom mount on the back of the Sea Ray. And then it's just a matter of hoisting it up and then clipping on those standoffs that you see me setting on the back of the transom there. 1, 2, 3 up. There we go. And then those standoffs, which are removable, clip to the back of the Sea Ray and then onto the dinghy itself. And it was very secure. Again, never a problem with that in all sorts of weather. Yeah, and again, no problem with that thing. Never lost it. Never, even in the really rough water, was fine. Here's another view of us retrieving the boat, this one taken from the side on to give you a little bit clearer picture. And it was just a matter of, again, 1, 2, 3, heave ho, up out of the water. She pivoted right up. And then those standoffs would just clip on to the dinghy itself to hold it in place. Yeah, that dinghy and motor was a good combination, and the whole package worked really well for us when we had the 400 Sundancer. But as most of you know, we ultimately sold the big boat, and when we did at that same time, the dinghy and the motor went with it. But that's okay, there's more fun coming up. few years after we bought our next boat, the 330 Sundancer, we decided to get another dinghy motor combination. So we went out and bought a new high field, rigid bottom boat with a 9.9 Yamaha 4-stroke outboard. To be able to take the dinghy with us when we were traveling with this boat, we got this beautiful dinghy davit system from dinghydavits.com. Really nice system, worked really well. Did a full install, and there's a full installation video on my channel. I'll leave a link in the description. We decided to go with something like this as opposed to something that we had to lift up, because we just thought it would be a little bit more convenient and easier for us older people now to lift the dinghy up. And as you can see, it worked fine. High speed tests, maneuvering, never an issue. Now, I don't know whether you're going to want to laugh, cry, or yell at me when I tell you this, but after all the time, effort, and expense to put this all together, brand new boat motor, the davit system, tie downs, and everything else, and got it all just set up and working perfectly, we ultimately never used that dinghy. So true story, we went away for 3 weeks holidays and never used that once. So by the end of that time, we talked about it and decided to get rid of the dinghy and the motor, because we sold it, sold that big boat as well, and then moved on to our current boat, our 370 Sundancer. Yes, lots of videos of that beauty on my channel. One more toy that we were able to get out in the water and play with was this brand new Sea Doo GTI. Now, it was an entry-level full-size machine, only 90 horsepower, but it was a blast. Man, we had so much fun with that thing. And one of the benefits of that was that we could park it right out front of the boat in our boat slip.
Hang on, this is where it gets bouncy and wet. Awesome. 3 to 4 footers out here, my friends. And it is beautiful. Woo!
Out of all the water toys that I've shown you today, this was by far the most fun. Not the most practical, but it was a hoot.
It's a bit of a rough, lumpy ride, eh, honey? Coming across the lake, the Sea Doo. This is awesome. This is so much fun. Woohoo!